These last weeks, they have been awful. If you watch the news or if you use social media, probably you have seen all this strategy that's taking place in the world. Very bad news, murder, crime, conflict between people that have different points of view, different ideologies. It's just a total mess. On top of that, you have to deal with your own stress, with your own personal life. All these things are just creating anxiety and stress for you. In today's episode, I'm going to be explaining how do you stay in control, how do you stay calm in a world that's full of chaos. Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of Inner Wisdom Life Guidance. So in a world that's full of chaos, how do you navigate the chaos? How do you stay calm? And the first thing that I'm going to explain is you have to learn to be in control. That's the first thing that you want to do. That's the secret to navigating chaos. So what does that mean? Being in control means that you do not react to external factors. When something is presented to you, you look at it objectively. You apply your critical thinking, you apply your reason, and based on that, you decide how you are going to act. What are the actions that you're going to take? The key here is that you are not reacting. You're looking at something and then you're deciding what you're going to do. In other words, you're consciously deciding what are the actions that you're going to take, whatever it is the situation that's being presented to you. That's what being in control means. Let me give you an example. Let's say someone is trying to insult you. It is your decision how you're going to act. Remember, not react. How you're going to act, what you're going to do. And my recommendation would be to just ignore what the person is saying. Ignore what the person is trying to tell you. You can just move on. You don't take it personally. You don't engage. You just decide to move on. You ignore it and you move on. That's a very easy example on how you decide to be in control. Now, what about thoughts? For thoughts, you're going to apply the same logic, the same process. If a thought comes to you, you're going to decide what is it that you're going to do with this thought. Are you going to act on it? Are you going to do something? Are you going to feed the thought? Or are you going to acknowledge, ignore, and move on? In a previous episode, I talked about thoughts. What are they? Where do they come from? How you can control your thoughts, or how you can better control your mind, how you can stop negative thoughts from coming. I highly recommend you watch that episode. And again, just remember, a thought is nothing. It is you who decides how to deal with it, what action to take, and if it's going to be positive or negative. In the end, it's the action that you take, not the thought itself. So anyways, same process, right? You assess the thought and you decide what you're going to do with it. Being in control is like a superpower. It's like seeing bullets that are coming at you in very slow motion, and you're deciding what you're going to do with each one of them. In the end, it's about learning and understanding that it's your decision. The external factors that are presented to you or the thoughts that you have, it is your decision how to act on them. That's what it means to be in control. I'm going to share 4 things that you can do to develop this superpower of being in control. The first way to develop this superpower is through awareness. Awareness is like having these guardians at the gates of your mind who are going to let you know if there is something that's going to trigger you, if there is something that's going to disturb you, if there is something that's going to make you lose control. So that's the key. Through awareness, you identify something that might trigger you, something that might make you feel that you're out of control and stop you right away. That's what awareness is. Now, how do you develop awareness? There's different ways to develop awareness. The first one is through meditation. Meditation is the best way to practice awareness. And you can watch my meditation video where I explain how to meditate and why you should do it. So that's the number 1 way to develop awareness. The second way is journaling. You can journal every day about how you felt, the things that happened, how you acted or reacted about them. It is this exercise where you are analyzing objectively what happened and how you reacted. It would also help you identify during which circumstances you lost control and why. Once you identify that, the next time that you're facing a similar situation, you're going to remember, you're going to be aware of it, and probably you're going to be able to stop the situation and stay in control. Another way to develop awareness is by making it a habit. So constantly you should assess how you dealt with a situation or how you're dealing with a situation. Not just like on the previous example where you're journaling at the end of the day, but throughout your day, make it a habit to be aware and be critical about what are the things that you just did. How did you behave? How did you react? How did you act? Were you in control or not? So make it a habit. Constantly analyze what you're doing and how you did it. And the last practice that you can follow to develop awareness is by practicing body awareness. What I mean by this is that throughout the day also, or just at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, you're going to concentrate and focus on your body, on different parts of your body. And you're going to pay attention to how you feel. You can pay attention to your heart, you can pay attention to your breathing, you can pay attention to your fingers, your feet, whatever it is, just focus on your body and see how you feel, what's going on, and what are you feeling at that moment. That's a great practice also to follow sleep. At the end of the day, you just go lay on your bed and then you practice body awareness by doing these body scans from your feet to your head. And that's going to relax you. And again, it's going to help you be more aware. Awareness makes your thoughts vanish. When you are aware and you have a negative thought and you are staring at it, the thought is going to stop right away because now you're just focused on it, you're observing it. It's not that you're feeding it, that's very different. Feeding it is going to make it worse, it's going to make it bigger. But when there's a thought and you're aware of it and you're observing it, you just stop the thought. So awareness stops your thoughts. Awareness also helps you control your emotions. When you are aware of your body, you're going to stop the emotion that is triggering you. I'm using the example of being angry. If you're angry and you realize that you're angry, you're aware that you're angry, and you're paying attention to what's going on in your body, that's going to stop your anger right away. Because now you're focused on these changes that you're experiencing, that you're feeling in your body. And also when you are aware of your actions, you're aware of what is it that you're doing. And if you're doing something that is not okay, if you're doing something that is not helpful, you're going to know it and you're going to stop it. And again, you're going to most likely stop the emotion that was triggered and that led you to take the specific action that you were following. A second way of developing this skill of being in control is by avoiding things that take you out of control. And this is essential. This is something that you should practice always. Identify which are the things, the habits that make you lose control. And I'll give you some examples right now. Some of them are very easy, some of them might surprise you a little bit. The first one is drugs. Any drugs that you take are going to make you lose control. And let's specifically talk, for example, about either alcohol or smoking or vaping or any other type of drug that you either inhale or inject yourself with. The effect of those drugs is to make you lose control, and you should avoid them at all costs. It doesn't matter if you just, let's say you drink and you drink a little bit. If you drink a little bit still, you're going to lose control. To some degree, of course, the more you drink, the more control you lose. But just using alcohol as an example. So drugs is number one. Number two is caffeine. And here, I think it could be foods. So I'll say caffeine, again, is going to make you lose control. You're in a specific state and then you drink a coffee or a tea and they're going to boost how you feel. And maybe you think that that's not bad, but in the end it's something that's making you lose control. So you should avoid them. The same with sugar. And sugar is very interesting because now it is something that has been normalized. Like eating sugar and losing control because of the sugar, it's okay. Having a sugar rush is okay. A kid having an ice cream and then jumping like crazy, it's considered to be okay. And that is absolutely wrong. You're consuming something that is making you lose control. And the more you consume these things, the more difficult it is for you to actually learn to be in control. Another example, and this is very obvious from the beginning of the video, the news. Stop watching the news. I'll ask you a question right now. Give me one reason of why watching the news is important. And I want you to elaborate. Don't just tell me that, because it's good to be informed. No, I want you to just be really authentic and thorough about why it is important. And here's the thing. You watch the news and there is a tragedy, that someone died or someone was murdered, whatever. How is that helpful? How having this information is making you a better person? Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Something else that you can avoid is social media. And again, there is so much garbage in social media. Even if you can curate your feed, right? And you can follow specific people and specific pages. That's going to be good for you. However, the algorithm, it's just pure poison. They're going to push into your feed things that they want you to watch, things that you want you to consume. And it's very difficult to control that. So anyways, social media, I highly believe, is something that you may want to avoid as much as possible. And the last thing that I'm going to mention that you can avoid is toxic habits. Here you have to be your own judge. For example, gossip. Gossip, it's a habit or a practice, however you want to call it, that also makes you lose control. When you start talking about someone behind their backs, and you're talking to someone else about this person, then the gossip becomes larger and larger. You're criticizing more the person, and then you move to another person. You're losing control. You are not aware of what are the things that you are saying. Imagine how that person would feel if they were in your presence listening to all these things that you're talking about them. It's not something good. It's not a good practice for you. So at all costs, stop gossip and identify any other things that you do, any other habits that you follow that are actually making you lose control. Again, you have to be very critical. You have to be very precise on identifying what are these things that are impacting your life that are making you lose control. And not only habits, right? There's all these other things that you might be consuming, like if you're watching a certain show in the TV and it's making you feel anxious, or if you're playing a video game, the same thing is making you feel stressed, it's making you feel anxious, or if you're watching stuff that's not for you, like pornography, how that makes you lose control. You have to be, again, aware and mindful. What's going on through your mind? How is your body reacting? How are you feeling? That's the key to identify the things that are toxic in your life that are helping you lose control instead of being in control. A bonus benefit from practicing this is that your meditation is going to improve. Meditation is about learning to be in control, mastering your mind, training or taming your mind, depending on how you want to look at it. The more that you avoid activities that make you lose control, the easier that you're going to learn to be in control. And when you meditate, this is going to improve your practice and you're going to feel that your meditations are better. The third thing that you can do is the opposite of what I mentioned as the second one, and it's be mindful of the things that you consume. What's the content that you are watching, that you're reading, what are you listening to? And find things that are positive, things that help you be in control. Whether if it's a podcast or if it's a book, something that's self-help oriented, anything that will help you develop a good skill, anything that's going to help you learn to be in control, anything that's going to help you be more mindful, do that. Instead of watching a movie that's going to make you feel stressed, watch something that's going to learn you how to manage stress. Instead of reading a book that's going to make you feel anxious, read a book that's helping you on how to deal with anxiety. All these things that you can consume, that you feed to your mind, are going to help you to learn to be in control. Remember, we are what we think. Our thoughts define our reality. And the fourth practice that you can follow to develop this skill of being in control is understanding your circle of influence. I think it's also called circle of concern. It depends, you can read about it. But at a very high level, the very first and basic explanation of the circle of control, that's another way to call it, is understanding what is it that you control, and that's going to be at the center of the circle, and what are the things that you don't control. Everything that's out of your control, you should not care about it. You should not invest time, resources, energy about it. You should only focus on the things that you can control. And the things that you can control, my friends, are your reason, your logic, your ability to make decisions. That's the only thing that you control. To some degree, I will say you control your mind. You have to learn how to control it. What I explained at the beginning of this episode, analyzing an external factor and then deciding what is it that you're going to do, that is exactly what the circle of control means. You have to understand if something is in that core of this model, at the center of this model, and if it's something that you control, take action. Don't worry about it, take action. But if it's something that it's outside of your control, don't worry about it, don't do anything about it. Now, this model has evolved, and this is from the Stoic philosophy. What you control and what you don't control, being able to determine that is going to help you to be in control. But the recent model from psychology has the things that you control at the center, and then there's a region that are the things where you have influence. And then the other region, the last circle of this model, are things that are out of your control. So what's in the middle are things that you have influence in. So maybe you can influence a relationship that you have with someone. You can't control how the other person is going to react, but you have some influence by the things that you say and how you say them. So that's important to be aware of. And a good example of something that it's outside of your control is the weather. You can't control if it rains or if it's sunny, but you can control how you decide to act based on this external factor. So anyways, be mindful and be very strict on identifying if it's something that it's in your control or not. That's a key skill, a key practice to follow to learn to be in control. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you have any questions or any comments, please let me know below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with other people that might benefit from it. This is going to help the channel grow. If you would like to have a one-on-one appointment with me, you can do it at iwlifeguidance.com. And I'll see you next week in the next episode. Bye for now.